What's going on and how's everybody doing? You're tuning into Vanguard Music Podcast, where we dive into the world of battle rap, music, and the culture that connects them both. I am your host, Kirill, and today we're joined by a true force in both the battle rap scene and the music industry. Starting out in the early 2000s, his career really took off when one of his tracks was featured on the NBA Ballers video game soundtrack. Soon after, he becomes one of the most respected battle rappers in the US with over 60, that's 60 professional battles and nearly 7 million views to his name. But beyond his success in battle rap, he's proven his versatility as an artist, delivering powerful lyrics, singing, and producing music across multiple genres. A battle rap icon who's just as talented behind the scenes as he is behind the mic. Ladies and gentlemen, Ness Lee. Thanks for joining us, man.
And I didn't even know I did all that.
Well, there you go, man. I've been getting ready. Plus, I've been a fan ever since. We've interacted before in the past, but
Yeah.
yeah, I've been following you, man. That's why that's what I said. My little dream there worked out. I wanted for my top tier judges, at least this year, to be Ness, Real Deal, and Nameless, and it worked out. All three
Wow.
all three of you guys said yes, everything. So those are my top judges, you know what I mean? And I'm happy. I'm more than happy.
Oh, salute, man. Thank you, bro. Thank you. All class acts too, man. I fuck with all of them.
That's what I'm saying, and it worked out perfectly. And yeah, after talking to all of you guys, it seems like you guys are all fuck with each other. You guys are friends, and
Absolutely.
it's awesome. But anyways, let's start from the beginning. Um, I,
Okay.
I was gonna ask, what kind of influences did your parents have when you musically? Like, was there music playing in the house all the time growing up, or where did you pick up the passion for this?
So oddly enough, my mom, her name is Denise. Shout out to my mom. She sounds exactly like Denise Williams when she sings. So I got a lot of my musicality from her, man. Like, and she, I was never in the church choir growing up, but I used to just stand there like I was in it when I was a little kid. So I used to stand inside the choir when my mom was singing. I got a lot of influence from that, man.
Oh,
And
your mom was in the choir. I see. I see.
yeah, and I ain't gonna lie, a big part of my musical influence is like cartoons from back in the day, man. Like the old Popeye joints, the old the old Tom and Jerry joints, man. Like, stuff like that, man. If you go back and listen, man, the musicality in them things was crazy.
I remember those too, yeah, man. So there was no actual musical background. Were you taking any classes or anything like that? Because I've heard you sing, and that's not just, you know what I mean? It sounds pretty on point and pretty professional.
I appreciate that, man. I no one really taught me how to sing. I was just around music my whole life, so just being around my mom, man, she used to listen to stuff like it's this Christian a cappella group called a cappella, and they used to do everything a cappella. They used to make like beats with their mouth type stuff, and just kind of breaking down the musicality of that when I was growing up. Like it left a huge impact on me, you know what I'm saying? So, when I got older, like when I was in high school, a senior, I was in the choir then, but I already had the music bug by then. You know?
Nice. And what about writing? What pushed you? What inspired you to write rhymes?
So I kind of got tricked into writing rhymes, man. Shout out to my homeboy Jeff Barry. I was down in country ass Dublin, Georgia, and this what I was what like seventh grade, seventh, eighth grade, and this guy from New Jersey moves down. His name is Jeffrey Barrett. He's super hip hop dude. He's a rapper, all that, and we just kind of take to each other because I'm listening to hip hop, he's listening to hip hop. We the only two people that's listening to that type of stuff down in Dublin, Georgia. And it was this guy named Jimmy Brown at our school. Jimmy Brown was like a trap rapper. He was like one of the first trap rappers. This is like 96, you know what I'm
Wow.
saying, 97. And Jimmy Brown and my partner Jeffrey used to battle every day. And Jimmy was like a bully. Yeah, I need somebody to battle. I need somebody to battle. And Jeffrey, being a hip hop dude from New Jersey, he's battling Jimmy every day. So one day, Jeff doesn't come to school. And Jimmy's like, yeah, I need somebody to battle. I need somebody to battle. And he's looking at me like, yeah, you gonna catch it since Jeff not here. So he just starts going off on me like he kicking my ass. I don't know nothing about no putting no bars together, nothing like that. And I remember he says this one bar. He says something, 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 switch, and I just want to let you know you still my bitch. And he's freestyling. Everybody goes, oh, when he says it, he has this belt on. Back in the day we used to have these long ass rope belts They used to wrap around us twice, damn near. And when he said that, the belt kind of came out of one of the belt loops. So it paused, no homo, all this. It just looked like when he said it, you still my bitch, and then the belt flopped out. It just looked like he let his joint hang on me. It just looked like he let it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
everybody went crazy. I was like, oh man, I gotta do something. And I don't remember none of the bars I said. I said something back, and people went crazy. And I just ran out of bars, and I didn't, so the fact that people were going crazy kind of helped me because I was running out of bars. So I was like, okay, so what's gonna happen tomorrow when I come back and I ain't got nothing to say, you know what I'm saying? And people ain't going this crazy. Jeff came back to school. He was like, hey man, put together, write something and come back and battle Jimmy. So I wrote my first 16 and I still remember it to this day, man. And it's just all this history, man.
Nice. And so, and from then you just you started looking for new opponents, or how did you start developing yourself? How did you start getting, like, I mean,
Uh,
more and more into it? Did you go online, or where did you?
So me and my partner, Kenneth Hodges, man, shout out my brother Kenny. Kenny was one of the best freestylers I know. We just used to skip school and freestyle all the time, man. Just sharpen him. I didn't know I was sharpening my sword with him, but we used to freestyle all the time, and he used to kick my ass, and I was just getting better, not knowing it, just wanting to freestyle. And eventually, it got to the point where I was the one battling people at school, and then I moved up to Albany, Georgia, and they used to do this thing called "Who Got the Flavor" on the radio in Albany. That's my hometown. That's where I was born.
Mhm.
And I went up there to graduate, and Sean J from Field Mob used to be on that show.
Oh,
So it's this thing where you call up to the radio station, they'll answer you on one line. Somebody else calls up, they answer you on that line, and they have y'all battle each other over like some beat that they play on the radio. So they started off, who got the flavor? You say your name. Ness Lee got the flavor. Who got the flavor? Ness Lee got the flavor. I said, who got the flavor? Ness Lee got. Well, go ahead and kick your flow and let them all know, and then you spit your verse. So Sean J from Field Mob was bodying everybody on there for like a year before I even heard about it. Everybody at school like, yo, Ness, hey, well, I don't think I was Ness back then. They're like, hey, Jerron, it's this thing on the radio, you should get on it. So I got on there. I was getting my ass kicked, and I was getting my ass kicked, and every time I get my ass kicked, if you're trash, they'll play a toilet flushing, and you can't call back. You done. You can't call back. So,
30.
so I remember I think I called under the name Matlock, and I was just trash. So they flushed me. Then
Mhm.
I called back under the name Geronimo or something like that, and I was cooking, but then I said a curse word, so they flushed me. And then
Oh,
I called back again under the name Nasty Ness or Necessary. I don't know. I can't remember. And yeah, I was cooking it, and they ended up liking me, and I made it to the finals. And everybody who makes it to the finals comes back at the end of the month for a Royal Rumble, and whoever wins the Royal Rumble uh, gets to meet up live and battle other Royal Rumble winners. So me, Sean J, and like three other people from the Royal Rumble, we met up at what was it, the amphitheater in Albany,
mm.
and we just ran through like probably 8 rounds, and it ended up being me and Sean J in the finals, and we went back and forth so long that nobody could tell who was the winner,
This is
and
all, this is all of the Dome era, right?
yeah, all off the dome, all off the dome. This is '99 by this point. I'm what 17, and I'm not even really knowing what I'm doing. I'm just knowing that I love rapping. I'm not recognizing that I'm being one of the first freestyle rappers, in Georgia type thing. I'm not recognizing that. I'm kind of paving the way. So, um, yeah, that became that. Then, I moved up to Atlanta and did the same thing pretty much, man. Going around looking for anybody I could battle, battling at work, battling at wherever, man, battling the corner. I'm going to other people's hoods, just battling for wherever I can. And just because I want to rap, I don't even really know that I'm a battle rapper. And so it's just one of them things, man. It just kind of happened, bro.
Would you say that that time on the radio was the first time you made a name for yourself, or was there something different that you consider?
The time on the radio, yeah, absolutely, the time on the radio because I mean it's radio station, but like it was a thing where no one could see your face on the radio, but people still knew who I was just because, word of mouth. Oh, that's the kid Nasty Ness. That's the kid Necessary from the radio station. You know what I'm saying? Sean J was so big. He wasn't, Phil Mob was a thing, but they wasn't signed yet.
Mhm.
But Sean J was so big that he was the biggest rapper in the city, and anybody who battled Sean J was gonna get recognition, win or lose. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, definitely. Who Got the Flavor was the first time I made a name.
What about, so you're saying 99, early 2000s, right? So that's I moved to Canada pretty much around there, and that's when everybody started getting internet at home. Everybody was having access to the World Wide Web, right? Did you have any
Right.
did you do any things online?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So maybe the first time I really made a recognizable name that kind of lasted was this thing. My mentor Rockwell put me onto this website called rapmusic.com.
Hmm.
And he was on there just kicking everybody's ass. He was on there. They used to do tournaments where like 400 to 600 people would sign up. They would
Yeah.
do like 6, 7, 8 rounds, and they would pit people up against each other, and it would be one-on-one battles over a beat that's written. So
Hmm.
you really showing the extent of your talent. And Rockwell was in there just kicking everybody's ass. And so he was like, "Yeah, you need to get on rapmusic.com to get your skills sharp." I thought I was the greatest in the world at this point, but I hadn't experienced anything or anybody or
Hmm.
anyone that was really on the level like that until I got on rapmusic.com. And it's like everybody's crazy. Everybody's on this certain level and everybody's sharpening each other's sword and you're hearing new ideas. And I jumped in the first tournament and I cooked somebody first round. And then second round, I ran into this guy named PT. Shout out PT. He's on my Facebook right now. Lenny PT. And I thought I spit one of the greatest verses of all time. And he spit half of a written verse and half of a freestyle and got me up out of the tournament. I
Oh,
was like, oh, hell no.
what?
I was like, hell no. So I waited and I pretty much took that with a chip on my shoulder and went back and wrote every day, listened to all these verses over and over and over from the tournament. I took all the best things from them. I left all the bad parts from them out, and I joined the next tournament. And so it was this guy named Warbucks. Warbucks was pretty much the thesaurus
Mhm.
of online battle rap. You know what I mean? Like he was just winning tournament after tournament after tournament. He probably won 20 tournaments.
Sorry, just so I get it clear, how did these things work? Did you guys go online and did it live, or did you send in music, or how did it?
Oh, so like we record a song. We record a song like it's we record a joint over a beat. We record it just like it's a song. And they'll create like a thread or a topic with, Ness Lee versus Kirill, you know what I'm saying? And
Okay, I got.
and uh, and they'll put, so I'll post my song at the top, you post your song at the top, and then up under there, everybody votes back to back, and
Okay.
whoever gets the most votes wins, goes to the next round until they make it to the last round. So Warbucks did that shit 20 times, so that's like 100 something verses, man.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Warbucks is crazy. So I jumped in the next tournament, and I was hoping I could run into Warbucks because couldn't nobody beat him because he was such a natural rapper and he was a lyricist. And that was the biggest issue with rappers online. They couldn't really rap if they were lyricists, and if they could rap, they weren't great lyricists. Warbucks was a combination of both. I was a combination of the both, but I got kicked out in the last tournament by his homeboy PT. So I still had to prove myself. So I jumped in the next tournament hoping Warbucks would be in it. He wasn't in there. I ran through everybody the same way he ran through, So I was like, well, shit, man, if he's not gonna be here, ain't no reason for me to be here. And I stopped doing the online battling for like 2 years until the website owner, shout out Jeff. He hit me up. This is like 2003, 2004 by this time. He's like, yo, if you join this tournament, Warbucks is gonna be in it. We ain't doing no random shuffling this time. We're gonna put you versus Warbucks,
Yeah, yeah,
in the second round. So I was like, all right, cool. I wasn't never supposed to tell nobody, but it's 20 years later. So
yeah. Yeah,
so
yeah.
we did one round where it was just, it was a regular round, and then the next round he put me up against Warbucks. And yeah, I ended up winning.
Nice.
But Warbucks, let me tell you how big this battle between me and Warbucks was. I had no idea how big it was. I hadn't been around in like a year and a half, 2 years. But we almost froze the website. That website had like 300,000 users, like
No,
weekly users. But we
yeah.
almost froze the website from them posting that battle. Um, so Warbucks had so many fans that
Mhm.
me beating him had me scared, had me more scared than actually battling him. Because I felt like if I went on to the next round after beating him, his fans was gonna pull up and cook me. So I
Yeah,
jumped out of the tournament. I gave my name to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Shout out Nimi Hendrix. He took my name. And yeah, man, that was my last time doing the online battle thing, man. But that's been 20 to 22 years, and I still have followers from then, man.
that's exactly what that is. Not exactly, but it is very similar to what we're trying to bring back here. So that
Mm,
you're gonna be the perfect guy to judge. You just made yourself even better judge for this. You know
mm,
what we have now, aside from creating different topics for each pair, we have a
mm,
we have a system. We have a system of how to pair people. We have a table. You ran around the website a bit, right?
right. Yeah.
So it's everything's automatic, right? And we're gonna lean more on the judges. So there's gonna be nobody's gonna have an opportunity of calling his following. Let's say you're just popular
Mm,
and somebody is good, right? And
mm, mm,
hypothetically, you could call your fans, friends, whatever, to vote for you, right? But if
right.
but if we have Ness Lee, nameless and real deal judge in the battle, the best is gonna have to win. Nobody matters. It don't matter how many you call.
Right. 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 Right.
That's the direction we're taking with that, right? Because
Okay.
I'm gonna lean on the professional opinion of people who's been doing this for a while, and I'm gonna look for people who have been battle rapping and making music. And according to you, obviously, there's been because I moved here a little later. I moved here about 2003, right? 2002. So
Right.
I was learning language, all of that. Aside from that,
Right. Right. Right.
I've missed all of that. So I'm happy that that was present because that's what we're bringing back. That means a lot of
Mm,
nostalgic feelings are going to be awoken. You know what I mean? Plus,
nice. Okay. Okay.
plus, we're going to bring new people on to this too, like the new generation, right? But
Yeah.
anyway, we'll get to that later. I was going to ask. So then you're done with your online stuff, and you move on to what, grind time?
Oh man, I thought I was done battling, period. Because in between that time, before me and Warbucks battle, I had jumped on. I was actually on the first battle rap reality show on Showtime. Back when what's Showtime now? Like HBO Max or something like that. I don't know. But
Not sure.
so Interscope put together this thing called the next episode, and it was 5 or 6 cities.
Mhm.
Philly, LA, Atlanta, New York, Detroit, and I think that might have been it. And they picked two rappers from each city. So in Philly, it was a guy named Young Blake, and I forget who the other guy was. Detroit was Quest McCody, and a guy named Kai Hill. I forget the other guy's name.
Mhm.
New York was Diabolic, and my homegirl Chocolate Tide. Cali was my little brother Spitfire, and another guy. And Atlanta was me and my partner Tone Smoke on. And so they follow us around with cameras for like a week, just following us during our day to day as we do whatever we do, whether we got a job, selling crack, doing music, like literally selling crack. Like I'm gonna post. I'm gonna post these videos one day. I actually have the episodes on a hard drive now. But they follow my man Tone Smoke on. This is before we met. They follow him doing a crack sale in his neighborhood. This shit was kind of crazy. It was kind of crazy. But so they take two people from the same city. They
Mhm.
follow us around for a week, and at the end of the week, we finally meet for the first time, and we battle. And we battle in front of some kind of celebrity judge or celebrity host. And our celebrity host was CeeLo Green. So we do like 5 rounds. One regular round where it's like the introductory round. You show you show what you can do.
Mhm.
The next round is like acapella. The next round is over a beatbox, and then the last 2 rounds are just going all at it. First 2, 3 rounds, I was trash. I'm talking about super trash. You know what I mean? I was big trash. I'm talking about all go everything, Trinidad James. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Shit.
so somehow in the last two rounds, kind of woke up and I don't know. I still don't know who this version of me was. I was just a whole different person. And I cooked, and CeeLo was like, yeah, man, he won. And the crowd was like, yeah, Ness Lee won. And I went on to the finals. So this was '03. And, so I figured I'm done with all other sorts of battles at this point. I thought I was done with online. I thought I was done with freestyle. I went to the finals, and we went to Las Vegas. No, we went to Cali for the finals.
Hmm.
And I ended up losing in the final round to Spitfire. Spitfire went on to, have a big record deal with Interscope. What they didn't tell anybody in front of the cameras is all of us were signed to Interscope. So, we had Interscope record deals. Anybody who was a part of the show, any artist, had to sign to a record deal just in case you get on the show and you blow up. They
Oh,
want a piece of it.
yeah.
Yeah. So I figured in my mind, I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm out of here. I'm done with battle rap. But the deal wasn't so favorable. So I ended up just waiting out the deal and doing my own thing. I think the deal ended in like '06. So I feel like I'm done with battle rap at this point. I'm doing music. And then in '07, WRC is coming around. Some British dude called my phone randomly. No idea how he has my number. He's like, "Hey, uh, we're doing a $50,000 freestyle battle. It's like 2-on-2s, man, like 10 rounds, man. We're doing a preliminary round just to see who's good enough to be in it. But we hear you're the guy around here, so you don't even got to come to the tryout round, man. Just come to the final round. Just get you a 2-on-2 partner and pull up." So I called one of my best friends, who was also one of the best freestylers I know, Jaron Benton. Me
Mhm.
and Jaron Benton jump in this joint, and we get our ass kicked for like the first 5 rounds of this.
Oh,
It's an all day thing. It's an all day thing because it's I think it's like 10 teams or
yeah.
5 teams battling each other 5 times or something like that. I can't remember. But for like the first, I didn't know that battle rap had progressed that far. You know what I mean? Where people are freestyling whole multi-syllable phrases for like a paragraph and rhyming your name and I didn't know who Ilmac was. I didn't know who Thesaurus was. I knew who No Can was because we had did a show before. I
Mhm.
didn't know he was that good of a freestyler. I didn't know who Parable. I didn't know who Matt. I knew Matt Hills because we did a show before too. But I just didn't know battle rap had evolved this far. I'm showing up with my old school battle rap style. Where you do the set up, punch, pause, set up, punch, pause, set up.
Yeah.
I'm doing that. And these niggas is punching my head off, rhyming my name for like 3 minutes straight type shit. Like, oh, this is what we doing now.
Different,
You
huh?
know what I'm saying? So me and Jerry look trash for like a whole half a day. And then we start kind of catching up to what people are doing. You know what I mean? It's like some Dragon Ball Z shit. And I guess we was Broly or something because we looked weak as hell for like the first half of the fight. We were so trash for the first 5 rounds that even when we was winning in the next 5 rounds, people were still voting against us because the stench from the first 5 rounds. But we finally started winning. We finally started winning, and that's why I met Direct and Hemi and Sonny Bamboo. So we had all become cool and kept in touch. And the next year, Direct called my phone. He's like, "Hey, I'm about to start a battle rap league." And in my head, this is already a year removed from this. In my head, I'm like, man, fuck a battle rap. I don't care about no battle rap, man. Nobody. I tell him, yeah, whatever you need, I got you. But in my head, man, fuck battle rap, man. Ain't no battle. I'm working on my music shit.
Yeah.
So we had that conversation. I ended up moving up to New Jersey uh, at the end of 2008, and it's this website called WorldStarHipHop.com.
Hmm.
And I'm just browsing through it because it's where you go for all the hot shit at the time. So I'm
Yeah.
browsing through it and I click on it and I see Direct's face on this one video and he looks like he's under a gazebo and he's like hosting a battle with like I guess it's Mosh Gelton and Unorthodox Phrases or Johnny Storm or something. I click on it. I'm like, oh shit, this thing got 300,000 views.
Oh,
This
yeah.
nigga did it. This nigga did it. He really started a league. And then I'm going through the rabbit hole and I'm on YouTube and I'm like, oh, this is a real battle rap league. Like this is different.
Yeah, oh
And
yeah.
then I get a call from PH. And it's crazy because I'm a big PH fan. I remember the Blaze battles from 2099. I still had them on VHS tape when I recorded them when they was on BET. And I remember PH battling Sunkiss. Sunkiss is the guy who Pun signed, and he was on Pun's second album. And
Hmm.
I remember in '99 watching PH. Like this Talib Kweli, this fat Talib Kweli nigga is cooking right now, man. And he said something like, "Oh shit, I'm so sick. I surprised niggas like waking up with no dick." And in '99, my head is like, "Oh shit, that's crazy. If I woke up without my joint, I'd be surprised as hell." I'm like, "Yo, he cooked that." So I remember from that day on, PH was somebody I aspired to battle or be on a song with. And he calls my phone randomly, like, "Yo, Direct gave me your number, man. You trying to be in grind time?" I'm like, "Who is this?" He's like, "Yeah, it's Pumpkinhead." I'm like, "What?" Like, "Yeah, Pumpkinhead." I'm like, "From Blaze battles?" He's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah. You wanna be in a battle?" He puts me in my first battle versus J Focus, and my first written battle versus J Focus. And I thought I cooked, but I was kind of trash. I lost. All the comments say I won because I was more lyrical. And yeah, that's where it started, man.
What about the music? When did you start? When did you record your first song? With all this
Oh,
battle stuff going on, right? Like when did you aspire to write the first song?
I recorded my first song in '99, man.
90.
Yeah, I was still around the same people I was with when I did my first live battle versus Sean J.
Mm.
It was this it was a studio in Albany, Georgia called Rich Lake Studios. I think it was Rich Lakes. And we was in our Wu-Tang phase. So me and four of my partners, we called ourselves the Body Snatchers at the time.
Okay.
And we got together, we got to the crib. We didn't know how studio sessions went. We went to the crib and we wrote this song called Vicious Verbals to no beat. We ain't had no beat. We just wrote a song called Vicious Verbals. And I was like, yo, we can't call ourselves body snatchers, man. That's just too crazy. We gonna call ourselves contraband. So we get to the studio. All four of us got verses. We ain't got no beat. The hook was trash. We so for like we would call our nickname Contrabandits. The Contrabandits carry heat with parables of passion. Something, something, something. We the verbal assassins. Like it was stupid. It was stupid. And we get to the studio, and then we pay the engineer. All of us had like $30 a piece or something like that.
Mm.
We paid the engineer, and he was like, "Yeah." We hopped in the booth, and he's like, "Where's the beat?" We was like, "We ain't got no beat." He was
Uh,
like, "You ain't got no. How you come to the studio with no beat?" I was like, "Thought you was gonna give us a beat." He was like, "All right, but that's gonna be more. That's gonna be more money." So he started playing beats, and this shit was trash. The beats was trash.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I went in the keyboard room. I was like, "All right, record this," and I played this melody. I was like, "All right, record this," and I played this other melody. And then my partners were like, "What is this? What the fuck are you doing? You wasting our time." I was like, hold on, record this." And I recorded the drum track, and then we played it back, and they was like, "Oh snap, you a producer? You made a beat."
How did you know how to do all of that? Was it just natural?
I had no idea. I just had this melody in my head. Actually, I used to record song melodies from this little trash ass Casio keyboard onto a tape player and just keep the melodies like that. So I just remember one of the melodies from one of my old tapes. And I made a beat out of it, and we did our first song, and it was gloriously trash. That shit was legendary trash, but it was great trash. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, that was my first song, man. Vicious Verbals with the Contraband, man.
And then how do you go from showing up to a studio with no beat to having your song as an NBA game soundtrack? How did that happen? Was it
What's kind of crazy? What's kind of crazy is when I think back, it's kind of quick, man, because that soundtrack was like '04. And my first song was in '90. That soundtrack was '03. And my first song was in '99. So I ended up moving to Atlanta in 2000. My mentor Rockwell gave me my first computer. That shit had like 4 gigs of space, like 256 gig megabytes of RAM. It was trash. It had the computer, the screen, the monitor with the big booty on the back of it. That shit was trash.
I know. I remember saving one game on like 60 floppy disks and switching.
Yeah. I definitely had the floppy disk computer. So with the big ass tower on it.
Yeah.
But I thought I was balling because I had a CD burner on it that took 20 minutes to
At
burn
that
on one
time,
CD.
at that time it was.
So yeah, I would go in the crib, man. I would make my own beats and I would record. I recorded half of my first album on a computer microphone. I had a bunk bed. So in between the bunk bed, I would put the microphone and then I would hang comforters from the top bunk to the bottom bunk on both sides and on the front and on the head and on the feet. And I would leave like a space like this between the comforter and the edge on one side for me to peek my face in and get in front of the microphone. And that ended up making it sound decent. I recorded my beats through a microphone. I ain't had no cord to put in the computer, so I put the speaker next to the microphone and made my melodies like that. And I looped the melodies up, and I made my first album like that, man. And so I met up with this guy named Nick Love. Nick Love. He loves he's like a socialite slash someone on the scene in the music in Atlanta. Shout out Nick Love, man. And he was working with someone from Midway Music. Okay. And they were doing this video game, NBA Ballers. That was like, an offshoot of what was the joint? NBA Jam back in the day. It was like an offshoot of that, like a more evolved version of that. And so Nick Love was like, hey, so make me like 2 songs for this soundtrack and we gonna get some bread. So I made 2 super trash songs real quick. I didn't know what I was doing about basketball, and I sent them to Nick Love. And he said he sent it to NBA Ballers and they ain't like it. My manager at the time was like, nah, fuck that, man. We gonna hit up Nick Love, man, and we gonna get up in there for real. My manager at the time, Fort Knox. Shout out Fort Knox. He hit some Nick Love like, yo, give me the contact, for NBA Ballers. So Fort Knox is like a 6'3", 260-pound, just diesel nigga, look like Terry Crews type shit. So people gonna do whatever he say. You know what I mean? So he said, yeah, give me the contact for Midway, man. And Nick Love gave him the contact. And so Fort Knox spoke to Midway. Midway calls me and they's like, okay, so you sent these songs. We didn't like those, but we heard your album. We like these 2 songs from the album. Remake these 2 songs for some basketball type shit.
What you recorded in the bunk beds?
In the bunk bed, yeah. We like these 2 songs from your album. Re-record these 2 songs right here with an NBA Ballers theme, and you're gonna be on the soundtrack. And yeah, that was my first big placement, man.
Nice. And so now fast forward a little bit. You've released you have an album under your belt, right? You have 60 battles. And obviously people who are interested in rhymes and in battles, how do I put this right? Attracting attention from fans and pros in terms of how you structure your rhymes and how you deliver. There's something there, right? And it's not too big of a secret that a lot of battle rappers do ghostwrite for industry people, right? I was just wondering, how does that process work for those of us who don't know? Like, do you get a topic and the request and then you send a reference track back, or do you show up in the studio and school them to the whole process?
It works in a bunch of different ways because everybody has their own different process, man. And for the record, most people that you're gonna write for, the majority, damn near all of them, will have been someone who has written on their own at some point. They may just be, they may just be out of touch, or they might have too much going on, or and they need a little bit of seasoning. You know what I mean? So they hit up people like, myself or Daylight or, Lush One or The Source or Ilmac or Ron, There's a lot of us that put our pen down like that, man. So, I've had situations where, somebody they'll come to my studio we'll just vibe out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they just want to know what's in my head and what's going on with me. We'll listen to beats and what we like, and like what's my story, and they'll tell me their story, and sometimes we don't even get a song done. We just vibe out, and then the next time they pull up and they got an idea of what they want, and they give me some ideas, and sometimes we'll work together. Sometimes I'll write the whole thing. Sometimes I'll give them ideas on how to say things, and now take this out. Now say this way. This will rhyme better if you said it like this.
Yeah,
And
yes.
most of the time, no, it's just someone to call me who I'm never meeting, and they're like, "Yeah, man, I need this right here, man. Can you do it for me?" And most of the time, the answer is yes, but I
Mm-hmm.
make it happen, man.
Nice. So has it ever happened where you given somebody some material, some content, and then you hear it on the radio and you're like, ah, shit, I should have gotten credit for that? Or is it a deal is a deal, it's yours now?
I don't think I've ever heard of. I don't think I've ever had a situation that someone.
Or radio online somewhere, something where you know that's yours, right? And you're like, ah, I should, or that doesn't bother you.
I mean, I've heard my bars said by other people. You know what I mean? Like where I know they legit stole my shit, but not like a situation where it's like I've written for someone and they didn't pay me and they just put it up online. I ain't never. Nah,
What I'm trying
nothing
to
like that.
say, what I'm trying to say is somebody did pay you, right? They paid you for
Oh, okay.
you did the work, and then
Okay.
you hear the song out, and you're like, fuck, maybe I should go. Like, I want some of that credit, or that doesn't happen to you.
Oh,
Because you're ghostwriting, you're behind the scenes, right? That's what I'm trying to say. My bad, man.
oh no, you good, you good. Nah, sometimes yeah, because when you're a battle rapper, you get heard with a certain ear. People hear their perception of you before they hear you.
Hmm.
So the perception of battle rappers is we can't make music. So
Hmm.
we get heard. Our music is heard with that bias in people's ear. So they're never really gonna hear us fully unless we get a cosign or unless it's somebody else using our words. You know what I mean? So a lot of time, the only fair shake we'll get is hearing somebody else spit our shit.
Huh.
So sometimes, yeah, it's like, damn, man, like I wish people would hear me the same way they hear my words coming from this person. I wish that, you know what I mean? And sometimes it would be, uh, like a song may go so viral and get so big, and it's like, damn, what would happen if people knew that this was me? You know, what
Yeah,
would happen?
that's what I'm wondering. You're right, but that's a very good perspective. I haven't even thought about it like that because people might have people do have a bias. I did hear this a lot that oh, battle rappers can't really make music, and in a lot of cases that's false because I've heard a lot of good music made by battle rappers. At least the ones I've heard. I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I
Yeah,
don't. I don't know every song that was made. Like your music is dope. Real Deal's last project is actually pretty fucking dope. I've ran through that thing a few times.
it's crazy. Real deal is crazy.
Now that we're talking about making music, you dropped King's On, right? King's On, your first single. Does that
Yes, yes, yes.
and you word it like that too? This is my first single in 12 years. Does that mean that it's just the first single in 12 years, or does that mean it's the first single off a project that's coming?
Both,
Both.
both, actually, both. Yeah. So last song I put out, it got a. So I was just kind of floating through this musical life, not really knowing what I was doing at all. I was just going based off talent alone. I didn't know how to follow up with, another song or another project, and I didn't know how to release things. My rollouts was trash. I put out a song in 2012 called "I Am the South,"
That's a dope
and I
song.
got a huge. I appreciate that, man, and I got a huge reception. And that right there was the first official song that I put out since my last album, which was All in the Day's Work. That was my second album, and I just didn't know that I should be following up with more music. I should, be, putting out more videos and things like that. And I kind of just got lost in the rabbit hole of doing music for money between then and now, where I'm working on other people's projects, and
Hmm.
I'm doing battle rapping. I'm kind of sleeping on my own music. So yeah, King's On is the first song for my next project. I'm calling it Fine, I'll Do It Myself.
Fine. Yeah. Fine, I'll do it myself. And you went crazy on that, by the way, from beat to melodic bridges and the chorus, and then the verses are insane too. There's a thick rhyming pattern, but it doesn't hurt the delivery or the content. So
I
that
appreciate that.
it's a great. And are you shooting a video to that one or?
The King's On? Yeah, we shot a video to it. It should be out. So the song was inspired by my favorite basketball player of all time, LeBron James. You know what I mean? And so I just felt like, in all his greatness, I think Jordan is the greatest. I think LeBron has a case. You know what I mean? And being that he has a case, and he's most people's number two. He
Mhm.
doesn't have like Mike, like MJ does. You know what I mean? So I just felt like, okay, we call Jordans, we call MJ shoes J's or Jordans, like, and everybody just knows what you're talking about.
Yeah.
LeBron don't have that, so I was like, all right, well, what if we started calling them Kings? You know what I mean? And we call them Kings, and yeah, man, give him his flowers while he's still in the game. So we shot a video for it, and I wanted to put it out earlier, but I missed the date on it. So I think we're gonna put it out on the first night him and Bronny play together, and see what we can get from that, man.
And is this project going to be independent, or is there something behind you?
Super
From
independent, super
independent?
independent, super independent. But if anything, I'll be working with my folks over at MCMI. That was the label that PH was on when he passed.
Hmm.
Uh, but it's still gonna be independent. You know what I mean? It's still gonna be me. And yeah, man, I'm really excited because I know it's like it's the thing to say. It's cliche that people when they're putting out a project, they say, "Yeah, I'm trying to do something different. I'm trying to bring something new in." Now I'm really trying to do something different and bring something new, man. Like I'm singing my own samples. I'm sampling myself.
Hmm.
I'm showing the duality between the regular working man and the street man, showing the duality between the struggle between a southern artist who has a more hip hop sound and a hip hop artist who is from the south. Like it's a weird little dichotomy going on there. You know what I mean? And I hope it comes across, man. I hope it comes across, and
Well, if
we'll
if
see.
if it's like King's On, if you're gonna keep delivering like that, I'm sure it's gonna be it's gonna be good, man.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Now I'd like to get into the Vanguard Music Championship when
Let's go.
where you are one of our top tier judges. Now that you told me where you started on forums and stuff, you would probably have the best idea of what I'm talking about. Um,
Okay.
so I hope that everything we've discussed prior to this makes you more than qualified to be a judge for this, that's for sure. But for those who aren't familiar, please visit vanguardnetwork.org for more details. We are hosting an online event, part championship, part battle, part songwriting competition. It's a one-on-one knockout tournament where participants are given a topic, a deadline, and an opponent. And the best of all, it's free to enter and packed with excitement, especially with legends like Ness and Real Deal and Nameless as our top tier judges. You can find updates and everything else on vanguardnetwork.org. My apologies for that shameless plug, but I just have to do
Nah,
what it is, right?
you
So
got to.
I was just so on this topic. In your experience, how important is competition for an artist development, especially when they're pinned against an opponent facing the same creative challenges?
I feel like if you're up to the challenge, it can only help you. Even if you aren't up for the challenge, even if you don't know you're being challenged, most of the time it's going to help you. That challenge is going to make you look at things a little bit differently than what you've been doing. It's going to make you, you're going if you have a direct opposition, like someone who is tangible in front of you that you can see, that you can hear, um, you're gonna study this person. You're gonna look at the ins and outs, the good, the bads, and you're gonna be a little bit more analytical than you are when you just sit in the room by yourself.
For
You know what
sure.
I'm saying? And whatever you come up with is gonna be influenced by that. And I think it only makes you better, man. Just like any kind of competition. If you're the best in your neighborhood, and then you fly out to, somewhere halfway across the world and see a style you ain't ever seen before. Either you gonna adapt to it or you're gonna get swallowed up by it.
For
You know what I
sure.
mean?
Sure, for sure. And so one of the standout features of Vanguard is the judging panel, which includes seasoned professionals such as yourself. How valuable do you think it is for an up-and-coming artist or even a semi-pro to receive feedback from someone with your background, both in battle rap and the music industry?
So professional feedback is always going to be a plus, and like I said, it can't do anything but make you better.
Hmm.
As an artist, you always going to grow, and once you're done growing as an artist, your career is over. I still seek, opinions and critiques and criticisms from people who, have a similar ear or who have a better ear than me. I was just on Curtis King's show. Shout out Curtis King. I was just on his show, and matter of fact, perfect example. Last year in September, I sent one of my songs from this album on his show on YouTube.
Hmm.
And he listens to your stuff live, and him and his community, they either tear you apart or they give you praise, or they give you praise and they tell you how you can make the song better. I
Hmm.
sent my song "Bottom of the World" was, it's like one of the songs where I sample myself. And I'm talking about being from the South. I sent that in and they loved it, but the mix was trash. I didn't know it was trash. I needed to hear better than mine to tell me it was trash. So I sent it in this year, literally a year later, so they would forget me. So they would, forget who I was and forget they heard the song. I sent it in this year with the I applied the critiques they gave me, and I ended up winning some money from the show because my mix was better. Same song, I didn't re-record it, no nothing. I just took their critiques and
Constructive,
applied it.
right?
Yeah,
Constructive criticism is always good. Always.
yeah. I just told them today, like, yo, if you go back a year ago today, watch your show. You'll see this same song that won last night, and I applied your critiques and won tonight. So
That is a perfect example, man. And so with our competition providing a clear structure, a topic, a deadline, an opponent, how do you think this setup mimics the real world demands and deadlines artists face in the industry?
So it can help give you some structure because when I used to do this thing online, we had a deadline, of course,
Hmm.
and you would do whatever you had to make that deadline. I remember when I got in the second round of the second tournament that I was in, but everybody was waiting on me because they knew I was a dude who was mad that lost to Warbucks' homeboy in the first tournament,
Hmm.
and I killed somebody in the first round. I'm talking about got him up out of there. The second round, of the second tournament I'm in, I was supposed to battle somebody, Ken Fluid, who
Hmm.
is actually my partner now, but I ain't never heard of him at the time. So I'm the guy to beat in this tournament. I gotta make my deadline. Let's say the deadline was like March 23rd or something like that. March 17th, I'm on a bus up to Virginia to go visit my sister who lives on an army base. This is like 2001. Ain't no studios on an army base in Virginia. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to figure out how I can record my round. So the day of the submission comes, like March 23 or whatever it was. And I'm like, fuck it, man. We in these barracks at this army base. I'm just gonna buy a quick little stem microphone. If you got a partner who has a computer in his room, I'm just gonna plug it into that. I'm gonna download Cool Edit Pro and
That
record
is
my
so
shit over here.
2.0. Yes.
Cool Edit Pro, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
I had Cool Edit Pro 1.2.
Oh, shit.
And Peter Quistguard was the name he used to unlock it
Yes,
for
yes.
the
I remember that
yeah
for sure.
yeah Peter Quistguard and Marco Hardmeyer, y'all the goats, nigga. What you mean? So I'm in this barracks room. It's all bricks. Ain't no, the walls are all bricks. So echoes is everywhere.
Yeah.
So I went on to SoundClick and chose the hardest beat I could find. Shout out Cam Mateo, rest in peace. And it was called You're Welcome. I illegally downloaded illegally downloaded this beat, wrote the hardest verse I can come with, yelled as loud as I could into this STEM computer microphone, echo everywhere, and I got my verse in, and I ended up winning that round.
Nice.
And that's if it were not for that deadline, I would not have had that type of urgency. And you're gonna have these type of things if you're in the industry. The industry is kind of going in a different way where it's going to be a lot more independent, like where the industry is going to, be going towards, direct to consumer and things like that. They're going to, position themselves as things that help you, with your direct to consumer thing. Even then, so if you're going to want to do anything with this music thing, you're still going to have to hold to your deadlines. You're still going to have to hold to everything you say. You have to set these deadlines. You got to tell your audience.
For sure.
Find Out Do It Myself is dropping September 29th at whatchamacallit, whatever time. And if you don't do that consistently, you're going to end up losing your fan base.
For sure.
You're going to end up not growing the way you should, because you don't have any structure. So something like this could definitely add to that. It will add to that.
For sure. And now, from your perspective as a judge, what qualities will separate those who excel in this kind of tournament from the rest? Is it purely about technical skill, or is there something more that makes an artist stand out, in your opinion?
My homeboy Ray calls me the funky technician, man. He said same thing I was trying to explain before, where a lot of people can really, really rap, but they aren't that great with the pen. Or people who are really great with the pen can't really rap like that. So I'm just looking for people who can naturally sound good on the song and who can bring something creative, lyrically. I ain't looking for you to be Eminem or Pharaoh Monch or, Idea lyric. I'm not looking for you to be all that. That's, one of one. I just want you to be something special, something different and sound good. That's what's going to stand out to me, and something original. If you sound like somebody else, you're going to lose points to me.
For sure.
It just is what it is.
I completely agree with that. But the thing is, like, what we are trying to do here is going to be a little bit different. Vanguard isn't going to be just about battle rap. Some rounds might challenge participants to create a radio-friendly song without any foul language and sticking to that. You know what I mean? Does that... You see where I'm going with this? With all these questions I was trying to build up, right? What we're trying to do here is a little bit of a boot camp, something to get these guys going. You know what I mean? And I'm going in the right direction because I'm going to be asking for topics of the rounds from people like yourself too. You know what I mean? I'm going to be talking and then asking people questions, and I want to navigate this. I want for young people to have the experience that we did, because I've had the exactly same thing that you're talking about. I've won a bunch of tournaments, but it was all in Eastern Europe. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think huge back there. If you know how when YouTube hits they get, imagine how many people. It was just a melting pot. Every round, every pair, everything. And I want for people to have that experience rather than, I don't know, even as cheesy as it sounds, than doping outside and doing stupid shit. You know what I mean? I'd rather you be excited about facing the next opponent, and then, you know what I mean, than the next dose, whatever it is. You know.
Right.
So I think we're pretty much good, man. Thank you very much for your time. This was great. This was good.
Absolutely.
I'm happy I paid for that fucking hour, so we didn't get into it. Everything is great, man, and thank you for your time. But before we leave, is there anything you want to plug? Maybe something common, something to look out for, websites, socials.
I'm putting out more music. Bottom of the World coming soon. Just paid my car note coming soon. Nice. Very, very soon. Please look out for that. If you need beats, holla at me. If you need somebody to sing on your shit, holla at me. If you need somebody to take your girl off your hand real quick, holla at me, man. You know what I mean? Nice.
All right, brother. Thank you so much for your time. I'll be in touch. I appreciate you, and thanks for being a judge. Thanks for all of this, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. I appreciate you, brother.
All right, man.
Yes, sir. Salute.
Peace out.